days or thousands of years ago, Indians used to live there and they drew pictures.
We're going to a teepee. That's my favorite thing in the whole life, and that's all I want to say.
All right, are you warm?
I'm about to go to sleep. Yeah, I put 3 shirts, 2 pants.
Chase is sleeping in a hammock in the teepee.
That's fun.
That's the way to go, huh?
Oh yeah.
Do we see Trey anywhere? Is Trey in here?
Okay.
Well, I'd just first like to say that the camera adds 10 pounds.
You'll find kivas all over at Mesa Verde. Kiva is a Hopi word for ceremonial room. It was kind of like the Indians' church or place of worship. Kivas were made up of 6 major components: the ventilator, air deflector, fire pit, sipapu, bench, and pilaster to hold up the ceiling. The fire in the pit draws fresh air in from the outside through the ventilator. The fresh air will collide with the air deflector, sending it in a circular pattern around the room before it is sucked into the fire. The smoke from the fire escapes through a hole in the ceiling, the same place where the people enter and exit the kiva. The sipapu is a small hole in the floor, a symbolic entrance to the underworld. The ancestral Indians probably used these kivas to conduct healing rites or to pray for rain or luck in hunting. Now that you've learned everything you never wanted to know about kivas, let's take a look at the rest of the buildings that the mysterious, barely clothed Indians of Mesa Verde left behind. And we just found the way in.
See, an ancient warrior would come in here, and if he was a bad guy, he'd probably get his brains bashed out.
We will smoke the pipe. There'll be no lies between us.
Often the night is alive with the drums and laughter, the chanting and dancing of an intertribal powwow.
You had yourself a vision. Man waits a long time to have a vision.
The feeling of strangeness is fading fast.
You had yourself a vision.
These guys must have been pretty short, huh? Oh yeah, check that out. Think John's been down there in the kiva? Yep, I think we have a match. Right here you can see part of the original trail. But there were little footsteps just right along here, go back in the trees, and then it comes along here. If you just follow my finger, you can see it go up, and then it went up along this ledge up top here, walk back somewhere in there. Wow, there they are. The first Indians settled at Mesa Verde at about 550 AD. They were known as basket makers because of their impressive skill at that craft. Longhouse at one time had structures that were several stories tall. Most of the buildings were built between the late 1190s and the late 1270s. By about 1300, Mesa Verde was mysteriously deserted. The kids' favorite part was climbing the ladders scattered throughout the ruins. No one knows why the people of Mesa Verde built their homes in the cliffs for sure. Some speculate it was for protection from their enemies. Water was very scarce in the desert, and so they tried to collect and keep any they could find. This is where the Here you can see holes they have drilled in the ground to collect the water that has seeped through the walls in the back of the cliff.
These are little water collection.
Their basic construction material was sandstone, which they shaped into rectangular blocks about the size of a loaf of bread. The mortar between the blocks was a mix of mud and water. Rooms averaged about 6 to 8 feet, space enough for 2 or 3 people. Isolated rooms in the rear and on the upper levels were generally used for storing crops.
This small square box in front of us is not parallel or perpendicular with the other box because it points northeast, south, and west.
Farming was the main business for these people. They supplemented their crops of beans, corn, and squash by gathering wild plants and hunting deer, rabbits, squirrels, and other game. Their only domesticated animals were dogs and turkeys.
What did they use the water hole for?
To get water.
That's right. Yeah. Little water hole for a big city.
At Balcony House, you'll find plenty of tall ladders to climb up and small holes to crawl through. The longest ladder in the park is found here. It's over 30 feet tall.
Here's the boys.
Successfully climbed.
Good about themselves.
Archaeologists have called these people Anasazi, from a Navajo word that has sometimes been translated to mean ancient enemies. The Hopi are descendants of these people and have some very interesting stories to tell.
See, this looks kind of like a face, and they built a lot of fires inside of that room so the people on the other side of the canyon could see it, and it would be impressive or scary to them.
These are Hopi Indians doing a traditional native bird dance. They spiritually prepared themselves inside the kiva, and when the time was right, they emerged to dance for us. Chase and Connor went inside the kiva right after they came out. When they emerged, they said, "Dad, that really stinks in there. They must have been smoking something weird."